Dustin's research is part of Professor Peter Stone's lab, focusing on the futuristic idea of autonomous driverless vehicles, which can navigate traffic and bring passengers to destinations of their choosing with reduced congestion and greater safety. Hopefully, Dustin's research will apply well right here in Austin, but will not take any lessons from our fair city. Dustin has been active in the Dean Scholars and Turing Scholars student groups and has led the Project Giving Tree Committee in Computer Science. He's been recognized with a 2013 Astronaut Scholarship for excellence in science and mathematics. This fall, Dustin will go to work at Google in Seattle. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Dustin Carlino.
One suspicion that 4 years here have confirmed is that you can judge a professor by the way they treat the first day of class. Thankfully, few professors I've had here wasted the first lecture by painstakingly reading the syllabus at us. Most of them instead jumped right into the material or the motivation for mastering it. But no professor here has ever started a class quite as dramatically as Professor Lottie in Originality in the Arts and Sciences, which is a freshman signature course designed to get people thinking about research. He ended the first lecture by ordering us to go and do something, anything interesting, and then to write about it. No restrictions and no guidelines. I left class deep in thought and promptly bumped into another freshman, who then asked me where some building was. I had no clue, but then suddenly I had my inquiry. I set out to hand draw a detailed map of campus with every building and every door marked. I built a website where you can enter your class schedule and see the optimal route through buildings to get to your classes. Of course, I quickly realized that cartography and strong things to scale is way harder than it seems. But then again, the point of the inquiry was to try, fail, and change the rules until things worked. I had wanted college to be the chance to reinvent myself, and life wasted no time reading its syllabus at me. I'm a completely different person now than I was on August 25th, 2010, and I'm sure many of you echo that sentiment. During these 4 years, I've realized that it's not just me that's changing so quickly, it's in fact the whole world. So, in the past 4 years, what has the world accomplished, especially in sciences? The Large Hadron Collider discovered the Higgs boson. NASA's Curiosity rover successfully landed on Mars. The Kepler telescope discovered an Earth-sized exoplanet. And a private company, SpaceX, delivered to the International Space Station. Car makers have promised us driverless cars by 2020. That's just 6 years from now. And we have all of this new technology. Invisibility cloaks, 3D printing, Bitcoin and Dogecoin, smartwatches, Google Glass, the Oculus Rift, and tons of advances in biotechnology and genetic sequencing. But at the same time, there are also some ongoing crises that have affected the United States these last 4 years. First, climate change is already causing unusual droughts and flooding in the US. Traffic jams plague large cities on a daily basis, causing pollution and stress. And while the economy seems to be recovering from the recession, many jobs that were lost will never come back. High-tech workers are clashing with low-income workers in areas like San Francisco and even in Austin. There's a conflict over the rising housing prices, which displace longtime residents. And finally, the Edward Snowden scandal revealed the NSA's systematic spying on the American people. But thankfully, UT Austin prepares us to deal with the world's problems and new technology. In my opinion, UT's best feature is the amount of research that undergrads here do. Research exposes us to new technology. It teaches us critical reading skills, forces us to be skeptics, requires us to communicate very carefully with the public, and best of all, gives us the opportunity to pursue our own projects for fun. All of this process starts first semester here in the College of Natural Sciences, thanks to the Freshman Research Initiative. Have you heard of students at many other top-tier schools starting research in their freshman year? So I described how the world is changing, some of its current problems, and how UT gives students the tools to fix some of these problems. So of course, this is the part of the speech where I tell you that it's our job to be the next generation of leaders and inventors. What may be surprising is how to go about changing the world right now. This process is very different than what it was for our parents' generation. So first, let's talk about how education has changed. Once upon a time, a bachelor's degree would guarantee you a great job. Nowadays, you need at least a master's to make it in many fields. On the other hand, college dropouts like Mark Zuckerberg and Michael Dell have started billion-dollar companies. Self-teaching is easier than ever with Khan Academy, Coursera, and MIT OpenCourseWare. It seems that raw talent, perseverance, and careful networking get you far in this world, not just accreditation from a good school. Inventing and funding have also changed. New ideas come from hackathons, not just from Los Alamos National Labs. We've got venture capitalists, but then we also have Kickstarter. The internet has enabled instant self-publishing, and the world has used this to make innovation decentralized. So graduates, seize upon this trend of self-publishing. Whether you do research formally or work on something exciting on your own or with a company, consider blogging your science. Blogging your work gets you much more feedback than just from a lab and 3 journal-assigned peer reviewers. You could blog even when you get bad results to help others avoid your mistakes. And let's say you're concerned about people stealing your work. I suggest taking a look at the open source community for inspiration. The internet is pretty good at granting credit where credit is due. And besides, do you work to achieve nuclear fission for the fame, or because the world desperately needs an alternative energy source? To close, I'll say that Austin really is my favorite city in the world. It has given me both Gordo's donuts and mountain biking, but not necessarily in that order. On behalf of everyone graduating today, I'd like to thank many people for making UT what it is. We first thank professors who help undergraduates with their research. Thanks to the many scholarship donors and faculty who write recommendation letters for your financial support. Thanks to advisors for guiding students with both wisdom and style. Thanks to all of the exceptional teachers here for sharing your enthusiasm with us. And finally, thanks to our families for all of their love and support. And of course, congratulations to all graduates. Many of you are already working on ideas that will improve the world. I am quite honored to graduate alongside you. You've worked hard, and now more challenges are on their way. So I spent my first week of college here drawing a map, and I've spent my last week throwing it away. Instant communication is removing borders, and crowdsourcing is documenting the shifting terrain. It's about time to draw new maps. Some things, like astrolabes, won't help us now that we've got GPS. But other things do remain relevant. The future is covered by turbulent, uncharted waters, and so we must forge ahead with the medieval adage on our tongues. Here be dragons. Thank you.